I have never screamed louder in my life. Welcome back! I just want to give a quick little shout out to my brand new vlog channel that I just started called The Gabby Vlogs. Link will be down below. That is just my day-to-day life, very casual, very not welcome back. I'm more so like, hey, what's up, you know? I will be doing shout outs in every video for the first comment, so turn on the post notifications for here and on that channel. Story time. So you guys probably maybe remember my video, My Psycho Roommate. It was my first big YouTube video, and it was just a story about my psycho roommate. Fortunately for you, very unfortunately for me, I have had a lot of psycho roommates, which means I have a lot of stories. For a really long time, I said to myself, hey Gab, you have a lot of really bad luck with roommates. Maybe the problem is you. And I'm not saying that it's completely not me, but I think the problem more so lies in the fact that every place that I've lived with people has been a very random last minute move-in with very cheap rent, with people who are very desperate to fill a room. So I think that's probably where most of the problems came about. As some of you may or may not know, before YouTube, I was a real person and I was a grown-up and I had a job. After college, I was a waitress for a while and then I got a job in Pittsburgh. I'm originally from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. This job wanted me to start right away, which meant I had to pretty much move to Pittsburgh right away unless I wanted to drive 2-3 hours every morning in Pittsburgh traffic to get to work, which if you know anything about me, you know that I do not drive and I have very little tolerance for traffic. So like most problems in my life, I took to social media and I asked Facebook and Twitter, hey guys, does anybody know of somebody looking for a roommate in Pittsburgh? At this time, I had very, very little money, so I had very, very low standards. A girl messaged me and I wish I could remember for the life of me who it was, because if I found out today, I would try to exact some type of revenge for the situation that this girl ultimately put me in. She said, I know this girl. She lives in Pittsburgh. She has 2 roommates and they have a spare room. They're looking to fill a room. So I was like, wow, divine intervention. This is totally meant to be. We're texting a little bit. The girl seems super, super cool. And honestly, I was in a pickle and the rent was really, really cheap. So I was like, done, moving in. I moved in legit like 3 days later. And then I met the roommates. Now the girl who I was really excited to live with, unfortunately, was never actually home. She had a job that took up a lot of her time and she had a boyfriend who she spent most of her nights with. So really, my only 2 roommates were these 2 guys. Both were in their late 20s, early 30s, both unemployed, both super into drugs and partying, and honestly just really creepy people. I'm like, you know what, Gab, you're good at getting along with anybody. You can make the best out of any situation. This is going to be fine. We're talking a little bit. I'm asking what happened to the last roommate, and they're like, honestly, we have no idea. They completely fell off the grid. Nobody has heard from him. One day he just moved out. He didn't pay his last month's rent. He didn't pay the last 2 months' utilities. Nobody can get a hold of him, and he wasn't on the lease, so basically we're and there's nothing we can do. And I was like, wow, that is really shady. That's such a thing to do. Sorry that that happened to you. And I couldn't even imagine ever doing that. So I get there, I move in some of my stuff and I say, hey, can I have the Wi-Fi password? And they said, actually, we don't have internet. And I was like, oh, did you guys all just move in too? And they said, no, we've been here for a while. It's just nobody ever wanted to put it in their name. This was bad for me. I go into my room. I have this little tiny anxiety attack type thing. And I'm just like, okay, Gab, it's cool. Just set up the internet. I texted this little group chat with my roommates and I was like, hey guys, it's cool. I'll set up the internet. Let's pick a package. I'm down to just get the basic bottom internet so everybody can have Wi-Fi. And they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. But hey, maybe we could look into cable as well. And I'm like, what? Then they start sending me all these packages like, oh yeah, like if you add in the cable and then you add in these extra channels and then you also get HBO Go and then you also get this and then you get movies on demand and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, whoa, these people didn't even have Wi-Fi 3 seconds ago. All of a sudden they want like premium cable, but I'm new here. I don't want to start a weird argument or talk about it like that. So I was just like, you know what? If they want cable, it's fine. I'll put it in my name. And I was like, everybody's cool to just like pay me every month. And they were like, yeah, of course. So the down payment for the cable and the internet and the boxes and all that came to, I forget, X amount of money. I paid for it, obviously, and then I told them how much it was, and I was like, yeah, so everybody owes this amount. And they were like, oh, yeah, I'll give it to you tonight. I'm very uncomfortable asking for money. I'm very bad at it. I get so awkward, and I don't like to feel like I'm pestering somebody. Like, you know, they'll get to it, but then like a week passes, and I ask them for the money again, and they all have an excuse, like, oh, no, I have to run to the bank because this and that. I can't find my checkbook. There were just all these reasons why they didn't pay me. Every single day, I would come home from work, and they're sitting on the couch watching their premium cable on their phones and laptops using the Wi-Fi that I got. And I would make little comments that was like bringing it up, but not actually asking for money by saying like, yeah, isn't it nice having cable and internet finally? And stuff like that. But nobody ever offered to pay me for it. So the first month is up and then the next month comes. I honestly don't remember how much the bill was, but I was like, hey guys, like this is this month's bill. You guys still never paid me for the first month's bill. Everybody has an excuse. So I'm like, okay, I just started working. I can't afford, and even if I could, I wouldn't do it, but I can't pay this bill by myself every month. And it's not even just internet. It's internet and premium cable that I'm never home to watch. So I just kind of did what I had to do and I canceled it. So when it all got shut off, that was when my roommates started really hating me. They gave me a really, really hard time about it. And then they started trying to tell me all of a sudden that they did pay me and where's their money? And I'm just like, what the f did I get myself into? That's just our first little set of problems. Now, I'm living in this apartment with no TV, no internet. I didn't unpack any of my boxes because pretty much immediately I was like, okay, I am going to be here as little as possible. But I just kept telling myself, Gab, you can do this, like 4 or 5 months tops, and then you can move and you never have to see these people again. I didn't even get a bed. When I moved in, there was a rollout couch in the bedroom that I was living in, and I just slept on that for I don't even know how long I was there. 3 months maybe? So listen to my sad, miserable life. Every night, sleeping on a rollout couch in my bedroom, living in a house with strangers who did not like me, who had no jobs, who were home all day. I have no TV, no internet, pretty much nothing to distract myself. This is my existence. So here's my routine. I would wake up in the morning, and every morning I would make an English muffin with an egg and a slice of cheese, and that was my breakfast. So I would go and I'd buy the 6-pack of English muffins. And because they're roommates and don't have jobs, they would always eat my food. English muffins aren't that expensive. This isn't about that, even though, you know what, it still kind of is, because I didn't make a lot of money yet. Right out of college, first job, living on my own, like I couldn't afford to feed 2 grown men plus myself, but I would buy these groceries and then I would come home the next day and all of my groceries would be gone. I would wake up in the morning, go to make breakfast, and all my food would be gone and I wouldn't have breakfast for the day. That's not cool. But again, it wasn't so much about the money as much as it was when I wake up in the morning and I'm going to work a 12-hour day, I want to be able to wake up and eat my breakfast. So I said to them, pretty much what I just said to you, if you eat my food, could you please replace it? I haven't had an English muffin in a long time. So the kid's really nice to my face and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I thought they were this other guy's. I know he doesn't care when I eat his food, but it was a continuing problem. One time I bought a gallon of milk. So I was like, well, they keep eating my English muffins, so maybe I'll have cereal for breakfast. And the very first night that I had it, they had a bunch of their friends over, they got really high and they started eating cookies and they were just they drank the entire gallon, literally the entire gallon of milk. So then I was like, hey, it'd be really cool if you could replace my milk. And it was one of those things where like, oh yeah, I'll buy it today. No, I tried my best to just stay out of the way and not bother them, just kind of live my own life. But there was this one streak of like a week maybe where they just had people over every single night. They were really loud, really obnoxious, but I never said anything because I was like, Gabs, this is their house, you're living in it. They don't have to wake up for work in the morning. Don't bother them, it'll just cause problems. But there was one night in particular where I had to be up at 5 a.m. I had just finished like a 14-hour day the day before. I'm brutally exhausted and they're literally screaming downstairs. It was a Saturday night, so like I get it, it's a weekend, I know. But the music was blaring so loud that the stuff on my walls was shaking. My bed is vibrating and I mustered up the courage and I just walked down and I was like, guys, I'm really, really sorry. I know it's a Saturday night. I know that I'm the one being lame here and I know that this is such an annoying roommate thing to do. Is there any way you could just turn the music down a little bit? That boy went off. He comes halfway up the stairs and he's screaming, yeah, princess, we'll turn down the music. Don't worry, whatever you need, your highness. We'll stop having fun just because you don't have any. And honestly, he's right. At that time in my life, I was having no fun whatsoever. I worked all the time. I was a miserable person. But then he goes, and don't worry, we won't eat your precious English muffins. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it was so asinine of me to expect somebody to respect my personal shit. You're 30 years old and you don't have a job. You can afford a 12-pack of beer and weed every night, but you can't afford English muffins? I didn't say any of that. What happened was I was so scared and sad and hurt and embarrassed and nervous and threatened. I just started sobbing in my room in the dark and covered my face with a pillow so that nobody would hear me. Ugh. So it was pretty good timing, but I ended up having to go on a business trip to West Virginia for 2 weeks. At this point, I knew that I definitely had to leave this situation. I ended up finishing business up there in West Virginia a little bit early, and it was right around Christmas, so they ended up sending us back home. So I was coming home about 2 days early. So I get home, I go up into my room, I open the door, and my heart drops. There's this really tall, really big guy who I've never seen before, all black clothing, just standing in my room. I screamed so loud. I think I ripped my vocal cords in half. So I'm like, this is it. I'm dying. This is the end of my life. Then he goes, no, stop. Hi. I forget his name. I don't even remember. And I was like, who are you? And he goes, oh, I'm the guy who's moving in. And I was like, when are you moving in? He goes, right now. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, they told me to come by. I said I needed a place immediately, so they told me to come by. I came by. All my stuff's in my car to move in, and I came up here and the room was full. I just got here. I'm as confused as you are. Mind you, I told them I was paying for the whole month. I came home early. Essentially what was happening was this guy was moving in while I was gone with all of my stuff in the room. Nobody thought to tell me, hey Gab, when you come home, there's going to be another man living in your room. So I was like, did they mention that all of my stuff would be here? And he said, no, they said the girl that used to live here left some things behind, but that they would just put it all in the basement when I got here. Left some stuff behind. Literally all of my belongings were still in this apartment. And this basement wasn't a nice finished basement. It was like a cruddy, disgusting, moldy, wet basement. So they were just going to take all of my stuff and throw it on the basement floor. So I was like, game time. Okay, that's a little dramatic. I didn't actually do anything exciting. But what I did do was pack up all my stuff, move out without any warning, tell that guy that moving in would probably be the worst mistake of his life, and he ended up not moving in there. And then I left, and this is a really shady, terrible thing to do. But I vowed to only ever tell the truth on my channel and make my stories 100% real, so I'll tell ya. I left them without paying last month's rent, didn't pay any of the utilities. They texted me multiple times for it, but I was never on the lease because the landlord specifically told them that they did not want another person moving in. So you were going to kick me out when I wasn't home, throw all my shit in the basement and ruin it, stiffed me on the cable and the internet bill, ate all of my food for months. I think we're even. And I'm sure when the next person moved in, wherever it was, if they didn't get evicted, he probably said, we're just cautious now because the last guy left without paying his last month's rent. No wonder. Anyways, that's it for this week. I have one more bad roommate story. If you guys want to hear it, give this video a thumbs up. If you think I'm a bad person, you can also tell me that in the comments below. Remember to go check out my brand new vlog channel. Link in the description. And showstopper of the week is Louisa. This has been a long time coming. Girl, thank you so much for always liking and retweeting my tweets. Thank you for liking my Instagram pictures always. Thank you for always tweeting out my videos, and especially lately for tweeting out my new vlogs. I appreciate you so much. You the bomb. Everyone go give her a follow and tell her what's up. As always, I love you very much. Thank you for being a part of my family, and I'll see you next time.
White girl problems, met her back in autumn. Every gift I try to get her, she already got them. Messing with the TA, wonder what she taught him. Work her way down.